Molly Rose here with Eugene Poots from Gogol Bordello. I've done a very small bit of research on my own family ancestry, and every bit of information I get feels like a little gift. And I've read about your move from Kiev after Chernobyl and this rush of information that you got about your own history. How was that totally overwhelming for you as a child?
Well, it wasn't so overwhelming. It was more of like, fucking yeah, of course.
Mind-blowing.
You know,
Yeah.
like sign me up. I'm
Right.
there. I just it wasn't like unheard for me. I was surrounded by it. I just didn't know what it is. So then I finally just learned the name of it and the larger picture,
Right.
and got to see the original kind of social setting, I guess, of this music, which is to really understand, I guess, reggae music. I mean, you don't have to do all the social research on it, but if you will, it will add tremendously to it,
Right.
Same thing here. I mean, it's just gypsy music is the origin of its excellence lays in the fact that it's basically made in an unamplified environment and is intended to basically out-rock anything in sight. And call it bravado and call it whatever you want to call it, but it's a big part of it. It's kind of starts as a kind of this boisterous musical competition and then turns into a powerful vehicle for this celebration message, actually.
How did your move from Ukraine to America impact your music, the development of your music, I guess? Because, I mean, when you moved from Kiev, there's whole musical...
Directly,
alignment
and the Ukraine is the center of Eastern Europe. It's kind of it's really rich in different musical influences. So to be part of something and not to miss it, that can't happen. So the farther away I was moving, the more nostalgic I was growing, but at the same time discovering new things. So basically, as you can see, Gogol Bordello is amalgamation of all these things. On one hand, it fills up the nostalgia, and on the other hand, it's a kind of strive into the future. So you bring all best parts of your past into the future. So it's always with you. But even now, like I keep traveling to now I actually moved to Brazil 6 months ago,
Oh, I didn't know.
to Rio, and that music already brought so much to me.
Yeah.
I mean, my fascination with Brazil didn't start yesterday, but being there directly, that's already so much new color and just merging Eastern European and South American energies and musical energy is like, that's like true alchemy to me. As I said, in some parts of the world, people, even poor people, they're not down and out. They're warriors, man. They're not like poor people here
No.
who are just so down and out. People there are not. They're like, yeah, I'm poor, but don't worry about me.
Right.
I
It's
got
the
it.
spirit behind it. Yeah.
And
Or
that's a
behind
big
it.
difference.
Yeah.
And I think music has a big part of that. Collect, I wish it would be that easy. Actually, it took some persuading it sometimes. Like Yuri wasn't so easy to collect. He was a very busy and known musician in New York underground and kind of knitting factory experimental scene. So it took about a year to land Yuri down in a band. But with Sergei it was different because he was also part of the same circle, but he immediately clicked with Gogol Bordello with my ideas because he has double education in music conservatory and Moscow Theater Academy. So the theatrical side, which is I guess I inherited from my family too, is what brought us closer quicker. Well, I don't think it is performance based at all, actually. It's performance is part of it. It's music based.
Right.
And my intention was never to make anything performance based, actually. That would be kind of contrived.
Right.
I think that as a matter of fact, when the band started, first years we performed just sitting on the chairs. It was even less movement there was so much movements within and inside that there was not any necessity for further movement. It developed more as a reaction to our own music. I finally just started getting off the chair and running around, and one skit led to another. It was all improvised stuff, and then that became kind of new face of the band. But I can tell you that the behavior of the crowd was not any different whether we were running around or not running around.
Well, I think it's more of the act of playing music itself that's so important.
Yeah, you can be sitting on a chair and be much more intense than, you know, if somebody is running marathon on stage.
Right.
It's not really. It's about internal condition.
Right.
You know, if it's contrived and not real, then who cares?
Mm-hmm.
If it's just choreographed moves of people going through the motions, who gives a fucking shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just the culture of celebration, I guess, is kind of dying out in a lot of parts of the world. And the ones that are still kicking, you know, you kind of have to illuminate them and bring it out and spread it all over again.
Definitely.
So we don't turn into a bunch of stupid robots. You know, just buying shit.
Yes, definitely. I have a dear Bulgarian friend who used to steal hood ornaments to pay for Nike shoes. And I read that you used to make your own porn photos from Hustler magazine.
Yeah, it wasn't photos of myself, of course. Even though that would be even cheaper way out. When I was 13 or 14, I think my dad gave me a camera for a birthday, or he just gave it to me actually. And by the time I started going to black market, it was an actual location and outside of Kiev, and there was many records that I could buy, anything, you know, Nick Cave, Dead Kennedys, whatever, it was all there. But they all costed God knows how much money. They would cost 80 rubles or 60 rubles. This was like, it's a lot of lunch monies to save, you know, it's like a couple months. So, you know, and eventually we just spotted some porno magazines, and I was like, wait a second, if I just buy one of them and take pictures of those pictures and sell them in school for $5 each, I can buy that Nick Cave record a lot quicker than I thought. And it worked amazingly so, you know. Sometimes when the quality was, you know, you could actually see something, I would charge more.
Yeah. And how old were you at this time?
This was like, yeah, it was pretty early. I had to figure out some ways.